Alright, so welcome YouTube. Today I'm gonna be doing like a ultimate hamburger helper review video. Now, a lot of these segments are gonna be reused from like the 3 individual like reviews that I did on it, but there's gonna be like 4 different segments in it that are like altered, so I could fit it into this video, like ultimate review video. Now, the segments are gonna be like this one, the end of part 1, the end of, well, I guess the end of part 1, 2, and 3 as well. Now, I wanted to do something different and make like a longer review video, but either way, the videos will basically remain the same. But I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so YouTube, for the ingredients, all of the hamburger helpers that I'm doing in this video requires a pound of ground beef. Now, they all require a different amount of water and milk, but the cheeseburger macaroni requires 1 1/4 cup of water and 2 cups of milk. The double cheeseburger one requires a 1/3 cup of water and 2 cups of milk. The deluxe Philly cheesesteak requires a 1.5 cups of water and a 1.25 cups of milk. The chili macaroni requires 2 3/4 cups of water. The beef pasta requires 2 1/4 cups of water and 2/3 cups of milk. The cheesy beef pasta requires 1 1/4 cup of water and 1 2/3 cup of milk. The 3 cheese requires a cup of water and 2 cups of milk. The stroganoff requires 2/3 cups of water and 2 1/4 cups of milk. The deluxe stroganoff requires a 1/2 cup of water and 2 1/4 cup of milk. The crunchy taco requires 2 3/4 cups of water and a cup of milk, where the lasagna and the 4 cheese lasagna both require 2 cups of water and 1 1/4 cup of milk. Now, the instructions are all the same except the simmer time. So, step 1 would to be brown the burger, then drain the grease. Then what you want to do is mix the contents of the box and the water and milk together and bring to a steady boil. For the beef pasta, cheeseburger, crunchy taco, cheesy beef, deluxe beef stroganoff, lasagna, the 4 cheese lasagna, and the stroganoff, you simmer for about 7 minutes. Then for the chili macaroni, double cheeseburger, and the deluxe Philly cheesesteak, you simmer for about 10 minutes. Then the 3 cheese pastas for about 16 minutes. So I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so here's what the cheeseburger macaroni one looks like. So I'll see you guys when I go to review it. Alright, so YouTube, let's review it now. Alright, so overall, I think this has a nice cheeseburger flavor to it. Now, the cheese sauce in it is a good flavor, and I do enjoy it, but I would give this like an 8.5 out of 10 star rating. Now, but to me, the cheeseburger one has always been the classic hamburger helper, like box meal, but like I said, I am impressed with this, so I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so there's what the beef pasta looks like, so I'll see you guys when I go to review it. Alright, so YouTube, let's review it now. Alright, so overall this has like a nice like beef flavor to it. Now, I would say the sauce is more of a, I would say it's more of like a thicker gravy kind of thing going on, but it reminds me of like the beef tips and noodles that I've had before. But overall, I would give this an 8 out of 10 for the flavor. So I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so there's what the stroganoff one looks like. So I'll see you guys and then when I go to review it. Alright, so YouTube, let's review this now. Alright, so overall this has a good beef stroganoff flavor to it. Now, I'm assuming this is supposed to be a beef stroganoff kind of a thing, but overall it's good. I would give it an 8 out of 10. Now for the flavor itself, it's not too bold or faint, but I always prefer like the homemade version of it, but this is still a good flavor for a boxed meal. So I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so there's what the chili macaroni looks like, so I'll see you guys when I go to review it. Alright, so YouTube, let's review this now. Alright, so overall this has a nice chili flavor to it. Now, it came out like, it had like a nice sauce consistency given water was the only thing I added to it, apart from the noodles and season packet. But overall I think this might be one of my favorites so far. But overall I would give it an 8 out of 10 for the rating. So I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so YouTube, here's what the crunchy taco looks like. Now, the box I found in the pantry, and it was like 3 years past expiration, so I'm hoping it's still good to eat. But the corn chips I bought them like recently, but I didn't want to use the corn chips that was included with the package. So let's get into it now. Alright, so overall that was pretty good. The food itself tastes good. Now I did use like chili cheese corn chips, which I would assume the included corn chips in the box, I would assume it's like the regular flavor of corn chips, like it's just like it's whatever the standard flavor is. But either way, I would give this an 8 out of 10 for the rating. So I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so here's what the double cheeseburger one looks like. So let's get into it now. Alright, so for me, I think this tastes identical to the regular cheeseburger one. Now, there really isn't much differences I can taste, but I do believe this has like a very little more, that this has a very slight bolder flavor to it. But like I said, I can't taste much. I can't really taste any differences between the regular and the double cheeseburger meals. So, but overall I would give this one an 8 out of 10. I do still like the cheeseburger flavor. It's just But it's like I said, there isn't much difference between the two cheeseburger versions for me to notice. So I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so there's what the deluxe Philly cheesesteak looks like. Now, I did double this just simply because I accidentally bought 2 boxes, not realizing I already had it. So I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so YouTube, let's review this now. Alright, so overall I think this replicates the flavor great. Now, to me the flavor's in the middle. It's not too bold or too faint, but overall I do enjoy this a lot. But overall I would give it an 8 out of 10 star rating. So, but this, I mean, I do enjoy this one, but it's not really one of my favorites from Hamburger. However, I kind of like the cheeseburger and the stroganoff one the most out of like all of the different flavors. But maybe that'll change after I review all of the flavors for Hamburger Helper. So I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so there's what the cheesy beef pasta looks like. Now, I already got myself a bowl out, which I forgot to do this segment before getting the bowl out, but either way you guys have a general idea of what it looks like. So I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so YouTube, let's review this now. Alright, so overall I think the cheese flavor and the beef flavor combine together real well. Now, this is a nice revision of the beef pasta, which I do enjoy this a lot more than what I was expecting. But to me, I think the flavors are like equally balanced in this, and I would give it an 8.5 out of 10 star rating for it. But I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so here's what the deluxe beef stroganoff looks like. So I'll see you guys when I go to review it. Alright, so YouTube, let's review it now. Alright, so overall I think this has a nicer beef stroganoff flavor to it. Now, I think the flavor's a little more creamier than the regular stroganoff, but overall I do enjoy this better. I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. Now, between, like I said, between the deluxe version and the regular version, I do prefer the deluxe one more. But I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so here's what the 3 cheese one looks like. So I'll see you guys when I go to review it. Alright, so YouTube, let's review this now. Alright, so overall I really could only taste like one type of cheese, and I believe that would be like cheddar cheese or whatever kind of cheese sauce is supposed to be in the cheeseburger macaroni. But overall I'm not really as impressed with this one as others. I don't feel like there's enough like noodles in it, and the included noodles are like real small as well. I feel like this is mostly just cheese sauce and burger. So, but overall the flavor itself was still good despite me only really being able to taste one type of cheese, so I'll give it an 8 out of 10 for the flavor, but other than that, I'm sure you guys know I'm not really impressed by it, so I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so YouTube, here's what the 4-cheese lasagna one looks like, so let's get into it now. Alright, so overall it had like a basil flavor along with I want to say like a cheddar flavor as well. Now, to me, I think it's more of like a sharp, like a bolder cheddar flavor compared to it, but it also isn't like what the mac and cheese cheddar flavor is. But overall, I do like this one a lot. It's different for me, but I do enjoy this a lot. I would give it an 8 out of 10 for the rating, so I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so YouTube, for this segment I'm doing the lasagna one, as you guys see here, so let's get into it now. Alright, so overall I think it tastes pretty similar to the 4-cheese one, other than it doesn't have much of a cheese flavor, which I kinda expected, but overall this still tastes pretty good, and I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. Now, so far for the ones with two versions, like different versions of the same thing, I would, like the cheeseburger one or the double cheeseburger, then the stroganoff and the deluxe stroganoff and the 4-cheese lasagna and the regular. But I'll tell you guys my favorite ones between each of them. Now, for the cheeseburger one, I didn't notice any difference between the two, so I would go for the regular cheeseburger one. Then for the beef stroganoff one, I liked the deluxe version more. Than for the lasagna one, I liked the 4-cheese one more. There's just something about the there's something about the cheese flavor that I like about it. I don't really know how to explain it, so I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so YouTube, for the breakfast ones, all of them require a pound of sausage, 2 cups of water, and 2 eggs. Now, for the cheesy hash browns version, you would additionally need a half a teaspoon of salt and 2/3 cup of milk. For the instructions, you would brown the sausage and drain the grease, then mix in the water and contents of box, except the topping mix for the cheesy version, but in a separate bowl. Mix together the topping mix and the milk. Then in the skillet, you would bring everything to a steady boil for 10 minutes, except the topping mix. You save that for the last step. Then once you get to a steady boiling point, you would simmer it for 10 minutes. Then you mix the hash brown mixture up after cooking on medium-high heat. Then you would cook it on medium-high heat for 2 to 4 minutes. Then if your skillet isn't big enough, scramble the eggs in a separate bowl, but if it is, go ahead and scramble it in the same skillet. Then mix together the hash brown mixture and the scrambled eggs, then cook until the eggs are fully cooked. Then for the cheesy hash browns one, after you're done with step 5, you would add the topping mix on top. For the tuna one, they would all require 10 ounces of tuna drained. I don't think it matters like what kind of tuna you buy, like whether it's in water or oil, but the creamy and cheesy one and the creamy and cheesy ones require 1 1/3 cup of water and 1 1/2 cup of milk. The Alfredo one requires 1 1/4 cup of water and 2 1/4 cups of milk. The Tenerezzini one requires 2 1/3 cups of water and a 1 1/3 cup of milk. The creamy one, Alfredo, and the Tenerezzini, they all additionally require 3 tablespoons of butter, while the cheesy one requires 4 tablespoons. But the instructions are simple. Mix everything together, then bring to a steady boiling point. Then for the cheesy and creamy one, you would simmer for 7 minutes. For the Alfredo and the Tenerezzini one, you simmer for 12 minutes. Now, for the hamburger ones, they all require a pound of ground beef. The cheesy enchilada one requires 2 1/4 cups of water, 1 tablespoons of milk, and 3 additional tablespoons of milk set aside. The potato stroganoff requires 1 1/2 cup of water and 2 cups of milk, and the Salisbury one requires 2 1/3 cups of water. I mean, 2 1/3 cups of water and a half cup of milk. The cheesy ranch one and the spicy garlic parmesan requires 1 1/4 cup of water and 2 cups of milk. The cheesy ranch burger additionally needs 2 tablespoons of mayo. And the spicy garlic parmesan additionally requires a tablespoon of butter. Now, the instructions are pretty simple. You brown the beef, then drain the grease, then you mix in the water and the milk into the skillet with the contents of the box. For the Salisbury one, you simmer 10 minutes. For the spicy garlic parmesan and the cheesy ranch burger, you simmer for 12 minutes. For the cheesy enchilada, you simmer for 20. And for the potato stroganoff, you simmer for 23 minutes. So I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so YouTube, let's get it reviewed now. Alright, so overall it does have a cheesy tuna flavor to it. Now, I'm not a big fan of this, which I honestly don't think the tuna one is very good, but the two flavors mix together real well. Overall I would give this like a 7 out of 10. Now, it's not the worst thing I've had. I definitely had worse things throughout my life, but I just don't really like this a lot. But I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so YouTube, let's review it now. Right, so overall it definitely is creamy, but I'm still not a fan of the tuna versions. But, this one was alright. I would give it a 7 out of 10 as well, but, these tuna helpers just, to me, I just don't like them. I mean, they taste good for being tuna products, but, I just really just only eat tuna like straight out of the can. That's really as far as I go with it. But I just don't really like tuna dishes. But I'll see you guys in the next segment. Right, so YouTube, let's review it now. Right, so overall, to me, it essentially tastes just like the creamy one, like the creamy pasta one. Other than this one isn't as creamy as the creamy version, but overall, I think I saw like some small pepper pieces in it, but I could be wrong. But overall, this just mostly just has a it just mostly has a tuna flavor to it, which, I mean, like I said, I like tuna, but I'm not a big fan of these so far, so I guess I would give it a 7 out of 10 rating, but I only have one more tuna helper to do, so that's the Alfredo one, so I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so YouTube, here's what the Alfredo version looks like, so let's review it now. Right, so overall there really isn't much flavor in that one. Now, to me, I still don't really like it as much. Like, I still don't like the tuna helpers as much compared to the other options that I've had, but now, I guess in a way, well, I want to like re-rate everything for the tuna helpers. I would rate them all like a 5 out of 10. Now, the tuna helpers have been my least favorite ones out of everything I've had, like in this video and in the past, but they're just, to me, they're just not good. But like I said in other segments, I usually only eat tuna like straight out of the can, but I'll see you guys in the next segment. Right, so there's what the Southwest style looks like, so I'll see you guys when I go to review it. Right, so YouTube, let's review it now. Right, so overall I would say the sausage is the dominant flavor in this. Now, I did get Jimmy Dean with this time around. If I remember correctly, whenever I reviewed the two, like whenever I did the dedicated video to two of the breakfast ones, I think I used Great Value brand in it, but overall the hash browns in this have a nice like crunchy texture similar to, it just reminds me of the texture of like the McDonald's hash brown, but the eggs I would say was, to me, I didn't think that the hash browns or eggs were more dominating compared to the two, but I would definitely say the sausage had the dominant flavor in this, but I would give it an 8 out of 10. Now, would say I've been enjoying the breakfast ones more compared to the tuna ones, so I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so here's what the farmhouse one looks like. To me, I don't think it looks very different compared to the Southwest one, like compared to the previous one, so I'll see you guys when I go to review it. Alright, so YouTube, let's review it now. Right, so overall I want to say it's pretty similar to it tastes pretty similar to the previous one. Now, I think the farmhouse one has more of like a pepper, like a bell pepper flavor to it, but I do enjoy this one a lot as well. I would give it an 8 out of 10 for the rating, but in a way I kind of like the farmhouse version more. I just kind of like the pepper flavor that's included with it, but either way, I'll see you guys in the next segment. Right, so here's what the cheesy hash brown one looks like now. I tried evenly distributing the cheese topping, but obviously you can tell it wasn't fully spread out evenly. Right, so YouTube, let's review it now. Right, so overall I think the cheese topping and the sausage flavors mixed together good. Now, for the cheese topping, I put the milk in I kept the milk in the measuring cup, then I whisked the cheese powder in with the milk, then I just poured it on top when I was done. But overall, I think the farmhouse style breakfast version is my favorite one out of all three, but I would give this one an 8 out of 10 as well. So that sums it up for this segment, so I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so YouTube, here's what the Salisbury looks like, so I'll see you guys when I go to review it. Alright, so YouTube, let's review this now. Alright, so overall I think this tastes a lot more like beef tips and pasta that you can make like in a crock pot, but this has like a nice like beef flavor to it. And I want to say there's like little chunks of like peppers in it, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But I think this tastes, to me, I guess in a way, I think this is like a deluxe version of the beef pasta that Hamburger Helper has, and I would give this a 8.5 out of 10 for the rating. So I'll see you guys in the next segment. Right, so here's what the spicy garlic parmesan looks like, so I'll see you guys in the next segment. Right, so YouTube, let's review it now. Right, so overall this has a little kick to it, which it isn't like overpowering or anything, but to me, it makes me understand why it says mild on the box now. But this tastes like great for me. To me, at least, I would give it like an 8.5 out of 10 for the rating. But it also has like the sauce part. To me, I think it's creamy. It's the right amount of like creaminess for it. So I'll see you guys in the next segment. Right, so here's what the cheesy ranch burger looks like. So I'll see you guys when I go to review it. Right, so YouTube, let's review it now. Right, so overall to me, I think this has like a creamy ranch flavor to it, but I guess in a way it's more of like a creamy, it's like a creamy cheesy ranch kind of a flavor, but overall I think the flavors combine together real well. Now, I do enjoy this, but in a way it's not my favorited one that's out there for Hamburger Helper, but I would still give it an 8 out of 10 for the rating, but this one is a pretty solid one, and I would get it every now and then, but I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so there's what the potato stroganoff looks like, so I'll see you guys when I go to review it. Alright, so YouTube, before I get into this, I'm only dressed up just because I'm going to a funeral, like, shortly after this segment's recorded, but this is probably the nicest this shirt will ever look, but either way, let's get into this now. Right, so overall this didn't really have much flavor to it. Now, the sauce itself I thought had the most flavor to it, but overall it's essentially just like the cheeseburger macaroni one, except there isn't any like cheese flavoring in this, and it obviously has potato, like slices of potatoes in it, but the potatoes were dehydrated in the box, and obviously whenever I mixed it in with the milk and water, it rehydrated. But either way, I would give this like a 7.5 out of 10. Now, it's not the worst thing I have, but that I had, but it also isn't my favorite one. One of my favorite ones either, so I'll see you guys in the next segment. Right, so YouTube, here's what the cheesy enchilada one looks like, so let's get into it now. Alright, so overall I think this is essentially just like a cheesy taco like mixture, but for the cheese part, I think they had me make like a white cheddar cheese, because like I said in like the description, back in like the ingredient and like instruction segment of this video, it said to like set aside 3 tablespoons of milk for the topping, but I ended up just mixing the topping in because I'm pretty sure that's what you're supposed to do. But overall, I would give this an 8 out of 10 for the rating. Now, I do kind of wish I would have gotten like the regular tortilla chips instead of the bite-sized tortilla chips, but overall this was still pretty good, so I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so YouTube, for this final part here, I'm doing the remaining hamburger helper stuff and the chicken helper stuff, but for the chicken helper you would need a pound of boneless, skinless chicken breasts and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. For the Alfredo, you would need 1.5 cup of water and 2 1/4 cup of milk. For the fried rice, you would need 2 1/4 cup of water and 2 eggs. Step 1 would be to cut the chicken breasts into 1/2-inch cubes, then heat the skillet up over medium-high heat with the olive oil, then fully cook the chicken pieces, then you would mix in the contents of the box into the skillet and bring to a steady boil, along with the milk and water as well. Then For the Alfredo, you would simmer for 10 minutes, then the fried rice for 20 minutes. Then this last step is only for the fried rice. After you're done simmering it, you would push it off to the side in the skillet, then scramble the eggs in the skillet, and then mix it in. Then mix the eggs and the mixture together. But that's it for the chicken helper. For the remaining hamburger helper stuff, you would need a pound of ground beef for everything. Then for the spicy jalapeno cheeseburger, you would need 1 1/4 cup of water and 2 cups of milk. For the tomato basil penne, you would need 3 cups of water. The cheesy Italian shells, you would need 1 3/4 cups of water and milk as well. So you should have like 3.5 cups of liquid in total. For the ranch and bacon, you need 1.5 cup of milk and water, along with a tablespoon of mayo. But you would need like 3 cups of liquid in total for that one. Then for the cheddar cheese melt, you would need a cup of water and 1 2/3 cup of milk. For the spicy barbecue heat, you would need 2 cups water and a half cup of milk. The bacon cheeseburger, 3/4 cup of water and 2 cups of milk. For the spaghetti, you would need 3 1/4 cup of water. Now, the instructions are simple. You would brown the beef, then drain the grease, then mix everything together in the skillet. Then for the ranch and bacon, the bacon cheeseburger and spicy barbecue, you would simmer for 10 minutes. For the tomato basil, you would simmer it for about 16 minutes. For the spicy jalapeno and the cheddar cheese melt, you would simmer them both for about 7 minutes. For the spaghetti, you would simmer for about 12 minutes. Then for the cheesy Italian shells, you would simmer it for about 25 minutes. So that'll conclude this, like all the box meals. Now, there is another breakfast one that's in the cup form, but if I find it, I'll describe like how to cook it and stuff whenever in that segment when I go to do it, if I do it. Alright, so here's what the chicken Alfredo looks like, so I'll see you guys when I go to review it. Alright, so YouTube, let's review it now. Alright, so overall the sauce was kinda on the thicker side of things, but overall it has like a nice Alfredo's like flavor to it. To me, I think it's in the middle of like the faint and bold, but the chicken is like the right size for it. But I just feel like with the noodles not being long, the chicken just fits more into like with it, since it's not big pieces. But this is pretty good. I enjoy it a lot. I would give it like a 8.5 out of 10 for the rating. So I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so here's what the chicken fried rice looks like, so I'll see you guys when I go to review it. Alright, so let's review it now. Alright, so overall it has a good flavor to it. Now, I didn't really notice the egg much in it, but it's overall like everything tastes pretty good. I want to say like the main flavor I want to say is soy sauce, but overall I would give this an 8 out of 10 for the rating, so I'll see you guys in the next segment. So here's what the bacon cheeseburger looks like, so I'll see you guys when I go to review it. Right, so YouTube, let's get it reviewed now. Right, so overall I think it has like a smoked hickory bacon flavor to it mostly, but I would definitely say the bacon flavor is dominant over the cheeseburger flavor, but overall this is pretty good. I would give it an 8 out of 10 for the rating, so but overall this was better than what I was expecting it to be, so I'll see you guys in the next segment. Right, so here's what the spicy barbecue heat looks like, so I'll see you guys when I review it. Alright, so YouTube, let's get it reviewed now. Right, so overall, to me, I think this tastes like a barbecue, like a spicy barbecue meat stick. That's like really the best way I can describe what the flavor tastes like. But overall, I do enjoy this a lot. Now, it's not like overly spicy. To me, I think it's just right with it, but I would give this an 8 out of 10 for the rating, so I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so here's what the spicy jalapeno cheeseburger one looks like. Now, this one is one of the newer flavors. It had like that little like new it had that little like printed on tag that said new, so let's review it now. Alright, so overall it has a little kick to it, but it's not like intolerable for me. For me, I think the jalapeno and the cheeseburger flavor mix together real well in this, but it's definitely not as spicy as regular like jalapenos. But on the box it also said it was like medium heat. Now there was like, I do remember seeing like the spicy level on a couple of others. One was like at the lowest spicy, and the other was like at the maximum, but I forget the other two flavors. But either way, I would give this an 8 out of 10 for the rating, so I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so here's what the tomato basil penne looks like, so I'll see you guys when I go to review it. Alright, so YouTube, let's get into it now. Alright, so overall it has a real nice tomato sauce flavoring to it. Now, I know it's not like authentic, like Italian, like tomato sauce, but it's still pretty good for being like a powder and water mixture. In a way, this is one of my favorite ones that isn't like the traditional stuff, like the beef stroganoff or like the cheeseburger one. I would give this a 9 out of 10. It's pretty good, so I'll see you guys in the next segment. So here's what the ranch and bacon looks like, so I'll see you guys when I go to review it. Right, so YouTube, let's get into it now. Right, so overall, I would say the bacon flavor has like the dominant flavor in this, and the ranch would obviously be like the more like the less dominant one, but overall this is alright. It's not really my favorite one I've had from Hamburger Helper, but it's still decent to me. I would give it like a 7.5 out of 10. Now this one's like on the lower, like this one is one of my least favorite ones from Hamburger Helper, but either way, I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so here's what the cheesy Italian shells looks like, so I'll see you guys when I go to review it. Alright, so let's review it now. Alright, so overall it does have like a nice cheesy flavor to it. They did add in some spices as well. I believe, I want to say like basil is kind of like the main thing for like the seasoning, but overall this is pretty good. I would give it an 8 out of 10 for the rating. Now I enjoy this a lot, kind of more than a lot of the other flavors that I've done, and like whether like in the previous like videos or even like segments for the video, but now this one I would definitely rank higher, so I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so here's what the cheddar cheese melt looks like, so I'll see you guys when I go to review it. Alright, so YouTube, let's review it now. Alright, so overall I feel like this is just essentially the cheeseburger one with like a slightly different like cheddar like cheese flavor to it, but overall it's decent. But to me, I just don't think this really stands out as much as some of them have to me, but overall it's decent. I guess I would give it like a 7.5 out of 10 for the rating, but either way, I'll see you guys in the next segment. Right, so here's what the spaghetti one looks like, so I will see you guys when I go to review it. Alright, so YouTube, let's get into it now. Right, so overall there really wasn't much flavor to this besides maybe some. There wasn't really much flavor to this other than a hint of like basil, but that's it. There really wasn't much flavoring, although but other than that, I'm not really sure how to describe it, because for me it's just more of like it just has like more of a ground beef, like an unseasoned ground beef flavoring to it, but other than that, it's still edible. It's just something I'm not real too crazy about, but I guess I'll give it like a 7 out of 10 for the rating, but I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so YouTube, here's what the hash browns and gravy one looks like. So before before I like eat it and review it, I'm gonna read you guys the description for this, but before I start eating and reviewing it, I'm gonna read you guys the directions. Now, step 1 would be remove the lid and flavor pouch. Then step 2 is to pour the flavor pouch into the cup. Step 3 is to add water to a fill line and stir. Then microwave uncovered on high for 4 minutes. Do not drain. Then allow to sit, cool, and thicken in the microwave and to stir before eating. Now, I already got it stirred up, so let's get into it now. Alright, so overall this really doesn't have much flavor to it. The microwavable cups, I don't think, never really tasted as good as like the actual box meals that you cook on the stove top, but overall this was decent for being a microwavable cup. I would give it a 7 out of 10, but I really wasn't as impressed with this as compared to other flavors that I've had in this video, but either way, I'll see you guys in the next segment. Alright, so YouTube, for this one I'm doing the cupped chili macaroni now. It boiled over in the microwave, so the labeling is like dirty, is more dirty than usual, obviously, but I'm not really sure if this is any different compared to the old El Paso one that I did as like a full box meal, but this one didn't have any like branding on it other than the hamburger helper, so I chose to pick it up to review. So there's what it looks like. So the instructions for this is pretty simple. You remove the lid, then add in the water and the flavoring packet, then you mix it together, then you microwave on high for 4 minutes, then you let it sit in the microwave for a few minutes to allow it to thicken up and to cool as well. So let's review it now. Alright, so YouTube, for this one, the chili flavor wasn't really as bold as the old El Paso one I did, but with this one, it's more on the fainter side of flavor, but I feel like you just lose flavor with convenience, but overall I would give this like a 7 out of 10 for the rating. But as you guys, I'm sure you guys can tell, I like the old El Paso one more, but to me I just think it has more flavor. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.